Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Roseburg Speaker and Storyteller. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We are running a little bit late. Things happen, and only a little bit things that I want to share for you. First, Toastmasters International has been established since 1924. So 97 years ago, it proves that Toastmaster is good for us. Go through World War I, World War II, and what kind of other wars. Second, Toastmasters, Roseburg Speaker and Storyteller, we meet every Monday, 7 a.m. Oregon time. Please, everybody, come and bring your friend so we can have the benefit of, we can share with them the benefit of Toastmaster, how to speak, how to communicate, and smile together. Laugh, learn. Number 3, please make sure that we mute our microphone during the meeting and unmute that whenever we need to, somebody call us to speak. Okay, we are good to go. Let's welcome Yasmin Telwala as our presiding officer today. She is our vice president of education. Yasmin, over to you.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, let's begin and start and welcome. And the excitement has to continue as we onset as for the new week. I know we come from different part of the world. For some of you, it's just the beginning of the week. You are just saying, good morning, Monday. And for some of us, it's like, okay, we are ahead. We are still towards the dusk down. The tea emoji today. Look at her. You just have to find out the most cheerful lady in the group. And to your surprise, she is perhaps the earliest, the fastest moving in the time. She's sitting in the part of the world from where she's joining somewhere around midnight. And that's the beauty of our club, which I want to highlight to all of you, that we come from very different part of the world, but we all share the same passion for speaking, the same culture of encouraging each other. And with these words as a reminder for all of us, I invite you all, especially the guests who are who are coming. Some of them are returning guests. I can already see Suvendu is here, Heather is here. And I would like to also welcome some of our first-timer guests, as I see Arun, Diane. More than welcome. You are always welcome to our meetings at RSS, and never the least, our beautiful members. Diane, so nice to see you. Yeah, that's why we always say it's so nice to have our video on, because we can feel you, we can feel your presence. Without any further ado, I will have to hand it over to the most gorgeous lady waiting there as the TMOD for today, Melva, who comes from Indonesia, and she is going to take us for this journey of today. To you, Melva. Please welcome Melva as the TMOD.
Thank you, Yasmin Talwala. Oh my God, I feel nervous because I see a lot of people come here. Good job. And I want to ask you guys, are you feeling enthusiasm right now? Yes. Yes. Yeah, sometimes I feel too. I know it's hard to keep enthusiasm, right? And as nothing is forever, even its feeling. Somehow we feel so vibrant, and somehow we feel so hollow. Because today is still January, I think a lot of people feel zeal. Am I right? Our grammarian, zeal, right? And fellow masters and dear guests, I'm helped by my friends to lead this meeting. First of all, I want to introduce my friend, our grammarian today. Excel, the screen is yours.
Okay, Thank you, Melba. Good day to everyone. I'm so happy, as Melba said, that I see our new members. Okay, Mr. Madam, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and guest. As grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers. Okay, let me see. Okay, okay. Listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, saying, or thoughts. As grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce the word of the day. Seal. Let me share my screen and explain a little more about this, the seal. Okay. Well, seal. The word is seal. Seal is a noun, and that means great enthusiasm, eagerness. For example, we can say a seal for money making, reforming seal, religious seal, or as an example, in his zeal to get his work finished on time, he made a lot of mistakes. We know when we are with a lot of energy, eagerness, we want to do everything fast, so sometimes we make mistakes. Seals is a singular noun and uncountable. Okay. And my another role is a counter. What is a counter? Let me write the word in the chat, seal. Okay, as a counter, sometimes we have filler words like as at the moment I say, okay. or another word that you repeat again that you use like a filler word. I will account also it, and at the end, I will do my report when the Toastmaster called me. Thank you, Melba. Back to you.
Thank you, Excel, for taking 2 roles, and great job for you. And next, my another friend, our timer. Miss Ayu and Antia, please introduce your role.
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm not going to use my background, but I will use these things. I got this from Michelle. Thanks, Michelle. Now it's come handy. So this is the red, yellow, and green. Everybody knows that the green means the minimum time that we can speak. And yellow means be careful, time almost up. And red means your time is up, but you still have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech. That goes for prepared speech, table topic, and evaluation. For prepared speech is 5 to 7 minutes. For table topic is 1 to 2 minutes. And for evaluation, 2 to 3 minutes. Veronica, I just want to make sure that if you go for table topic, Arun, I think Arun is Toastmaster, right? Green means speak, just continue speak until you see the green. If you see the green, then you can start like slowing down and end your speech. Okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome Dian, and back to you, Melva.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayu, for introducing your role by using unique stuff. And before we start a meeting, I want you to know that our meeting, as usual, we have 3 sessions. That is prepare speech, table topic session, and the last evaluation session. As today, we start to prepare speech, and now we have 2 speakers. Our first speaker is Kevin. He is past president in Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers. And his project, his pathway is leadership development. His project title is Kevin and the Cowardly Lion. Wow. And he will be evaluated by Ravi Shankar. Kevin, are you ready? Okay, Kevin, 5 to 7 minutes. The screen is yours.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. And today I'd like to share a story about myself and how I feel I compare to the Cowardly Lion off The Wizard of Oz. First of all, I'd like to show the image of the Wizard of Oz in case nobody's seen the movie. Let me see if I can do it right. Sharing the screen. Okay, I don't know how to share the screen. I'll have to learn how to do that. Okay. The Wizard of Oz was a wonderful movie that we enjoyed as kids. There was a lot of good points in that movie, but the one I really enjoyed was when the Cowardly Lion finally gained his courage from the wizard. Now, at the end of the movie, after the Cowardly Lion helped defeat the Wicked Witch, the wizard gave the lion courage, but he didn't do it magically, like with a magic wand saying, "Here you go, magically, now you have courage." No, he explained to the Cowardly Lion why he had this cowardly disorder. He said it was a form of disorganized thought process, which I thought was very interesting. It's like a psychological term. The lion felt that he was a coward because he had this practice as a young lion cub by running away from fear, running away from confrontation and issues and problems. So therefore, the lion just had this inferiority complex all his life that he lived with, and shame. And I'm sure that the lion as a cub was probably excommunicated by the other lions in the Lion Kingdom and probably banned and kicked out to feel he was just a nobody, and probably gave him a lot of depression. But as soon as the wizard gave the lion this pep talk and explained to him what his problem was, all of a sudden the lion gained his courage, and he was a different lion. He was a more stronger, powerful lion who believed in himself. I really love that story. Now let me tell you my story, how I feel that compares. I was like a lion cub as a child. I loved running around my neighborhood, playing with my friends, getting into trouble, doing all kinds of reckless things that a child should do. Until one day, the bully of the neighborhood, he made my life very miserable. And all of a sudden, I became very withdrawn. I ran from problems. I ran from the kids. I became an introvert. I didn't even go out of the house. And this was a problem that I had for many years. I was very depressed and very ashamed of myself. And I was very angry too, and I took it out on people too. And here's another thing that was a problem for me too, is I wasn't comfortable with my surroundings in social situations because I had speech problems. I couldn't really utter words to make a complete sentence, so people made fun of me, and it was very frustrating. Just recently, when I watched the Wizard of Oz for the first time in probably 20 years, when the wizard explained the disorganized thought process, it became very interesting to me. So I did some research on it. I looked it up on Wikipedia and some other resources. Disorganized thinking or disorganized thought process is a part of schizophrenia. There are signs and symptoms. One in particular is somebody who speaks incoherently. It's called word salad. They just can't put together words right to make a sentence, and they can't communicate effectively. So it just makes them kind of like mentally ill in some ways. And unfortunately, it leads to depression, frustration, anger. It affects them how they get a job in the world, how they respond to things in the real world. They don't process information the right way. They don't speak the right way. It just leads to all kinds of problems. And I feel that I was a victim of disorganized thought process. And I always wanted to get better. It took me many, many years to finally get better. I was about 30 years old when things started to slowly make sense to me. I started to mellow out. I started to relax. I spent more time in the gym, lifting weights, working on myself, eating right, sleeping better. I tried to be more positive. It took a lot of discipline, but I told myself that I got to change these things. I've got to break the cycles. I've got to start living a different life. I got to start changing some habits. And it started to work. I actually started to open up more to people. I was no longer an introvert. I was more extroverted. And it helped me do better in my job. It helped me do better as an EMT. It helped me do better in life. I didn't have a wizard to explain to me these problems. I didn't have a wizard to wave a wand and say, okay, Kevin, you've been a coward all your life. You're going to be, now you have courage. It took me a long time for me to figure those things out. And it's been about 16 years, and it's getting better and better. Every day I find another way to better myself and believe in myself. And Toastmasters really helped it was like the icing on the cake. When I discovered Toastmasters 6 years ago, and I gave a speech for the first time, all of a sudden I started developing the confidence that I've always wanted in speaking. I could interact with my audience. I could learn ways to be a better speaker. And it got me more excited and more determined to get better and better. And the more speeches I would give, I felt more confident in who I was. And it would have a positive effect in my job, in social situations. And even today, it's like I feel like if I didn't have Toastmasters and if I didn't believe in myself and start working on myself, I would still be suffering from disorganized thought process, disorganized thinking, and I'd still have that depression and that schizophrenia. That's kind of a scary thought. I never really thought of schizophrenia. I was probably schizophrenic because I remember always being angry and feeling like I was in this dark place. And it wasn't a fun, pleasant feeling at all. It was very negative. And I never really even knew that there was positive energy to feel. I didn't know that I could feel warm, healthy, happy, positive energy until much later in life. But the point is, I feel like I've got better. I'm on the right track. And just like that cowardly lion that figured out that he wasn't a coward, he actually had confidence. As soon as he received that pep talk from the wizard, I'm sure his life changed a lot too. I'm sure he went back to the forest and went back to the Lion Kingdom and took his noble position as the king of the beasts. That's how I feel that I compare to the cowardly lion. And I no longer want to even use that word coward anymore. I want to use the word confident, replace it with better words, confident, feeling good, being happy, being a better speaker, a better person, interacting better with people, enjoying life, because that's why we're here. We need to enjoy life. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Oh my God, thanks a lot for sharing your story. Enjoy our life. Thank you, Gavin, for sharing your story. And next, we have another speaker. He was our past president too, and he is a tiger. Tiger, you are lion, Calvin, and your friend Tiger. Tiger, his speech is his pathway about leadership. No. You don't make a title, Tiger. How to say it? Okay. His project title is Learn from Snow. Am I right, Tiger?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Tiger, you need to speak 5 to 7 minutes. Tiger, the screen is yours.
I love snow. When I was a kid, at age 6, I got the best present I've ever got or will ever get. I got a flexible flyer sled. And immediately my brother and I took off to the hill and went sledding. And laying there on the sled with your hands on the steering mechanism, flying down a hill, that is kingdom of kiddom. That is what life is all about. Every day I went sledding. About a week later, a friend of mine showed up to the hill with a toboggan. Now, for those of you that don't know what a toboggan is, it's a long sled with a curve at the front, and it holds multiple people, 4 or 5. So I put my sled aside for the day, and with 3 or 4 or 5 of my other friends, we went tobogganing, all 5 of us, flying down the hill all day. It was a blast. At the end of the day, I went to pick up my sled and go home. My sled wasn't there. Well, I didn't worry too much. My brother was gone, so I just assumed that he took my sled and went home with it. I got home, I opened the garage door, I looked in, 1 sled. The next week, I looked for that sled, I never found it. I was absolutely devastated. I can tell you many stories about fighting with my brother over this sled, but that's for another time. So what lesson did I learn? My favorite comedian is George Carlin. And to quote George Carlin, you gotta keep track of your stuff. Now, as I grew up a little bit, got to about age 8, my dad took me skiing, snow skiing, every Saturday. They give you lessons on skis, to put your skis together and turn. I took the lessons, but as soon as the lessons were over, I just put my skis straight and went down the hill. I love going fast. And that love for speed on skis lasted into my teens and 20s. In my teens, we would ski all day, and my parents would go to the bar and drink and have dinner. My brother and I would go night skiing. There was nobody out there, and we would race. I love going fast on skis. When I was 20, I dropped out of school and became a ski bum for a winter. Now, after 2 months of skiing every day, I thought I got pretty good. I thought. There was a professional ski race, downhill. And I got to witness this. At the top of the hill, they actually had to do some turns. But mid-hill, they took a hard left turn, about a 90-degree turn, went off a jump, and then the last quarter mile, the last half kilometer, was straight down a cliff. The winner of the race, are you ready for this? Hit 101 miles an hour. In kilometers, it's like 130 kilometers an hour. It was the most impressive thing that I have ever seen. And I also noticed that all those professional skiers, their girlfriends were gorgeous, but that's a different story. My friends, the next day, the race course was still set up. So my friends and I skied the race course. And when we went off the jump and went down the hill, we were going 50 or 60 miles an hour, which, let me tell you, that's enough of an adrenaline rush. If you bite it, if you lose it, if you wipe out at 60 miles an hour, you're going to get hurt. The last run of the day, we decided to have a race. There were 7 of us. As we came to the turn, that hard left turn, I was in 2nd place. I am super competitive. And I knew that if I was going to win this race, I had to take him on the curve. So I came in the curve full speed. And as I went to take that turn, my right ski just started chattering. Chatter, 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 chatter. The next thing I knew, when I became conscious, I was laying in the snow. I had no hat. I had no goggles. I had no gloves. I had no skis. I had no poles. And I saw something that absolutely scared the daylights out of me. The snow all around me was red. I was bleeding profusely. That last half a kilometer down the cliff, I got to do in a sled. It's not very much fun. As I lay in the hospital thinking, I said, you know what, Tiger? Sometimes you just got to know your limits. Now, as an adult, snow, even though it's beautiful, it's always beautiful, it also can create some work. When I was 40, I lived in a house with a large deck. And I lived in a place where we got some pretty violent winter storms. We had a blizzard. A blizzard is a winter storm, snowstorm that lasts for days. It snowed and snowed and snowed for 2 days. At the end, we had about a meter of snow. And my deck was full. Now, being a American man, macho, I got out my big snow shovel and I went out on that deck and I spent the entire day shoveling snow. At the end of the day, I sat down, I drank my beer, I was watching a movie. I was so proud of myself. I had the light on at the deck. It was nighttime. It looked great. All of a sudden, ka-thud! The whole house shook. All the snow from the top of my roof slid off and hit the deck. There was more snow on the deck now than there was when I started. Needless to say, I was a little disappointed, but you gotta laugh. So what's the lesson here? You can't fight Mother Nature, especially when it comes to winter storms. I love snow. I've had many experiences. I've learned much. Back to you, Miss Toastmaster of the Day.
Great job. Thanks a lot for sharing your experience, Tiger. And our first session was done. And let's jump out our second session, table topic. And that session will be led by Ruku. Ruku, please welcome.
Thank you so much, the Toastmaster of the day. Hello, fellow guests. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, I am your table topic masters, and I have prepared one slide, which I'll share with you all, which have some famous quotes on enthusiasm, and you all have to give your views on those quotes. You can also tell us a story or any way you want to convey your thoughts. And it would be a fun-filled session as we have so many guests attending the meeting today. But we will start our first question with a very beloved member from whom we haven't heard since a long time. Shilpa, I would like to ask the first question to you.
Yes, Ruku.
So, you can do anything if you have enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the yeast that makes your hopes rise to the stars. What are your views?
Thank you, Ruku, for the question. What analogy this is? The yeast that makes your hope rise. I have never pictured enthusiasm like that. But yes, isn't that so true? Zeal, enthusiasm, excitement, whatever you call it. If you have that for what you are doing, then it gives you, it's like steps. It moves you ahead on the ladder. It takes you from one place to other if you keep that enthusiasm up, if you keep that zeal up. And then the bubbles of your courage add to that yeast. And when you work towards your goal, then the hope rises. Coming back to enthusiasm, I have always been a very, very enthusiastic person. What I also feel very important along with this is how to sustain that enthusiasm. That is one thing that we oftentimes forget. So I definitely believe that enthusiasm is the yeast. It really keeps taking you from step to step, just keeps you interested in what you are doing, And it's like a snowball effect that you can have on other people. So enthusiasm along with sustaining of that enthusiasm can really help you going forward. Thank you, Rukia, for the table topic question. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Shilpa. That was an expected beautiful answer. Now, I would like to call Suvendu for the next question. And also to all the members who are joining for the first time, you will get a green ultimatum at 1 minute, at 1:30 you will get a yellow, and at 2 you will get a red. So on finishing 2 minutes, you need to conclude your table topic. So Vendu, for you, my next question is, are you there?
I'm listening.
Okay. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. What are your views?
This was said by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. And yeah, I completely agree with that. Because if you want to achieve something great, it would require a certain amount of consistency and persistency. And you would not have that consistency unless you have that enthusiasm about the topic. Unless you have it, you would not be consistent, and unless consistency, there is no greatness, because it requires a lot of you need to achieve 100 by putting one every day, right, over a period of time. So that requires enthusiasm. So I completely agree that you need enthusiasm to achieve greatness over a period of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suvendu. That was an enthusiastic answer. Now, for the next question, I would like to call Diane at Sadi. For you, hi Diane. For you, the quote is, success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. What are your views?
Thank you so much, Table Topic Master Rukaya. Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. I think in life, there is no failure, only a lessons. And the biggest failure gives the biggest lesson. When I was young, I'm very curious about everything. I try a sport, I come to different community, I try new activities, I traveling to new different place. Sometimes I'm success, sometimes I'm failure. But a failure give me a big lesson, because a failure always give me something to improve. I think this is same like when we are come in Toastmasters, I was very confused. I don't know how to speak in public. I was so shy and fear of being judged. But slowly by the time, I'm improved a lot, because I have so many people who help me, who support me, who has positive mindset. So I learned a lot from failure to be a better speaker. And all great speakers, they are bad speaker at first. And they also learn from failure to failure. There is no failure. If you feel like you lost of enthusiasm, it doesn't mean you lost the enthusiasm. It just means you need to get out from your comfort zone to get your spirit back, to find supportive community that give you more enthusiasm and more spirit to listen, to be a better speaker and better person to community. So there is no failure, only a lesson. When you lose of enthusiasm, just come to Toastmaster. Back to you, Table Topic Master Rukaya.
Thank you so much, Diane, for your awesome answer. It was very inspiring. Now, I would like to call Prachi. Prachi, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So the key to success is not through achievement, but through enthusiasm. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I strongly believe that the key to success is not through achievement, but through enthusiasm. I would like to say that Toastmasters itself is a very best example for me to show my enthusiasm. I had a sort of enthusiasm for it. But to sustain the enthusiasm, live through it, you need to find some inspiration around you to even form a speech. And for that, you have to be very enthusiastic in life. And grab those little moments which you can weave in your speech. It's not just like our speeches, even our regular life needs enthusiasm. What fun if we have a day where we don't wake up feeling enthusiastic of being alive. I think that itself makes us appreciative, being grateful to what we have currently. And more, I think the enthusiasm itself makes us achieve things. I know it's very hard to have it inbuilt for a sustainable time, but I think that itself is going to keep you pushing harder and harder on the toughest of your days. So I think no matter what, be enthusiastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prachi, for your answer. Now, I would like to call Heather. It is never too late to be who you might have been. What are your thoughts?
It's never too late to be who you might have been. Who can explain this more better than me? Since I have been a great enthusiast about about a cars, I have great enthusiasm about my cars, and I have always dreamed about being in them, racing them, building them from the scratch. And when I got to my college, I finally got to fulfill that dream, the one which I have always been, thinking about and uh, thinking about it. So yeah, so it's never too late. You don't know when you get a chance to be who you want to be. So never give up, and have some faith in yourself, and have faith and believe in yourself, and give it a time. You will sooner or later get to who you might want to be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heather. Now, can I go with more question or should I end it here?
I think you can go for 2 more questions. Yes, Yasmin, right? 2 more questions.
Yes, 2 more, please.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you. For my next question, I would like to call Mr. Rabindra.
Sure.
Enthusiasm without efforts is a loss of energy. What do you think?
Okay. First of all, thank you, everyone. So I'm a first timer here, and Subhendu suggested me suddenly that you can join this call. So I was a bit late, 5-10 minutes late to join this call, and I did ping him that what is going on. Let me know. So he just pinged me that the question is coming to you now. So I'll definitely start with the question is enthusiasm without efforts is a loss of energy. So for me, if you go back to the previous picture, can you just go back on the slide number 6?
Yeah, sure.
So if you see something on that picture, it's a child and he or she is on wheels, right? So for me, he's believing on something that he's kind of believing more than himself on that wheels itself. And how many people from all of us can do this? It's a kind of stunt he's doing. And come back to 7th page now.
Yeah.
So here it says enthusiasm without efforts. So here itself you can think many a times what kind of effort he or she has done to go on that field, and how many times he or she would have been tried and failed on that. And after many months, after many tried, he would have got that much of success, and he was able to do that stunt on road, believing on that field. So for me is whatever you're doing, you require some kind of effort, and that effort should be you can say result oriented. It's not like you are trying to learn something and you don't know where you are going to end it up. So for me, that is called effort, and that should be a result oriented. So that's what I can say on this topic.
Okay, thank you so much, Ravindra. You said it very well. Now, I would like to call Veronica. Can we have you, Veronica?
Hi.
Hi. Are you willing to answer?
Okay.
Okay. Nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't understand a lot the question, but I can say the enthusiasm is important. It's very important, but I think it's not the only. The discipline is very important, but together with the enthusiasm, but but the things doing, and that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, Veronica. We are so glad that you spoke. So with this, I would stop my screen sharing, and thank you everyone for participating and giving answers full of zeal. And I would now like to hand back the floor to our TMOD, Melva.
Thanks a lot, Ruko. You did great. Wow, I love those quotes, and those quotes make me rethink again our enthusiasm, my enthusiasms. Sometimes, like I said, I feel hollow. I don't know what I have to achieve this year. Yeah, because I'm in comfort zone. Yes, our second session was great, and let's move on to our last session, evaluation session. And this session will be led by Michelle. Michelle, please welcome.
Thank you so much, Madame Toastmaster of the Day. Before I forget, I want to commend you. You are masterfully guiding the meeting, which is the role of the Toastmaster. Great job, Melva. If I didn't know, I would think you have been a Toastmaster for many years. Keep it up. The evaluation segment, for the benefit of our guests, is the most powerful part of the Toastmasters program, helping people to grow and develop, and especially when they have their zeal in learning, then the evaluation portion gives them a focus on what to improve on. And I don't do it alone. I have a team that will help me. To evaluate our first speaker, Kevin, we have, I think he's our newest member. Yes, welcome. Ravi Shankar. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Hanasogo. So our evaluator for Kevin, please take the stage. Ravi Shankar.
Thank you, General Evaluator Michelle. Kevin, I would like to commend you on a beautiful speech. When you spoke about the Cowardly Lion, it immediately took me back to the movie, and I could connect with the movie and all of the thoughts that you were speaking about, all of the experiences that you were speaking about. I was trying to relate each of those to what I remember from the movie The Wizard of Oz. I was toying with the idea of using a curtain and then coming out from behind it and being the man behind the curtain, and then revealing my thoughts about your speech. And I think I did try to pull it off. what I really loved about what you said, some of the things that you said were the comparison of yourself to the lion cub, and also mentioning about how the bully made a life very difficult for you when you were a child. I would say from that very point in time, you had a whole lot of courage, and it takes a whole lot of courage to be able to come to a gathering like this and share it with a whole lot of strangers. So any thoughts that you may have had about being similar to the cowardly lion, I'm glad that you've discarded that, because you've got a whole lot of courage in you, and your speech reflected that. There was a whole lot of clarity. There was no point in time where I felt I couldn't understand what you were speaking. And I loved the way you were always in maintaining eye contact with all of us when you were speaking as well. And especially, I liked the part where you said that you've grown to a point where you look for a way to every day to find a way to better yourself. That was really good. And that was really encouraging. I think it went very well with the theme of today's meeting, which is enthusiasm. It brought a lot of enthusiasm in all our members. And I think you effortlessly and with a lot of zeal presented your speech to us. A couple of things that I would like to share that might make this speech even better. One thing would be the amount of research that you had done was, you mentioned about reading up about schizophrenia and the disorganized thought process. I think talking a little bit more about that and how it is that you related to that and how it is that you came out of it. A little more research on that aspect would have helped, because we are speaking about researching and presenting. And the other thing is, I would suggest that you use a little more gestures, which would add a lot to the speech as well. I think you were probably using it just the way as I am, but even I am guilty of that most of the time. My hand gestures are always hidden behind the camera, right? And I think gestures speak a lot. Therefore, involving your hands as well when you're speaking would definitely add a lot to your speech. Very well done speech, Kevin, and looking forward to many more speeches from you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Excellent evaluation. Each speech in Toastmasters has objectives. And I love how Ravi Shankar pointed out what the objectives are. In this case, it's research and reporting. So a little bit more on the research side would have been great. Fabulous job, Ravi Shankar. Now we move on to our second evaluator, who will give his comments on, or not her comments on our speaker, Tiger. And I don't want to set the expectations too high, but just note that Yasmin Telwala was the district evaluation champion last year. So let us all welcome Yasmin.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. And it's indeed always a challenge, however, whatever level of competition you would have had been, to evaluate a good speech and a good speaker. So what makes a good speaker to begin with? And what makes a good speech? A good speaker should be full of enthusiasm. He should have mastered what we generally struggle to do. That's master the pauses. The one who has mastered the pauses, the one who has mastered to make you giggle, to make you visualize his words, is the one who has really mastered, and you can say is a good speaker. And you all have to credit Tiger for having had achieved it. So please join me in really congratulating Tiger in achieving things we really challenge with, that is to master the pause, to integrate humor into story. I wish you all have had noticed we always encourage storytelling as the most persuasive style. If we have to convey our message, we should do it through stories. And the beauty of the speech of Tiger was that there were nested stories. There were 2 to 3 stories around one single theme. This is a style he has already done previously as well. He has picked up a very common subject which we all can very easily relate, and he would have 2 to 3 stories around the center theme, and the stories will be simple and the takeaway would be easy. So that was the same strategy he used again, and I congratulate him again on this. How would you say, I had nothing, or I had absolutely nothing? Maybe just like this, no? What makes a good speaker is that he would say, I had no poles, I had no skis, I had no hat, I had nothing. So he will make you imagine everything he wants to do it. And this is the beauty of the style of the language. So he used it very well. And he met his object because his objective for the meeting was, for the speech was also about the body language. I cannot let him go like that because I know he loves snow and I know he loved feedback. He started with saying, I love snow. He ended with saying, I love snow. He gave us 3 messages, and I was really waiting for the messages to come back towards the end again. All 3 of them rep together for me to take it like in one go. Okay, these are the 3 messages he's giving me. And because it is persuasive influence, I was waiting for the message for the audience. I was waiting, Tiger is going to give a call. He's going to say, okay, from these stories, perhaps this is what you can take up, or something which I would have had taken from those stories besides being amused to the core. So with these 2 challenges, Tiger, to bring in the key messages again towards the end and again leave the audience with the call, I would again congratulate you for having achieved such great milestones in your speaking career, I would say. So thank you for giving me the chance to evaluate you. Thank you, and back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Yasmin, for demonstrating how a good evaluation can be. I loved your zeal in giving feedback and, of course, commending Tiger. We now move on to our grammarian, who is doing double time. She is the grammarian, she's also the accounter. So let's hear from Excel Isasmendi.
Thank you, Michelle. Yes. Okay, well, first I want to say that I'm so happy to see new faces. And you know what? And well, for the grammarian with the word seal, most of you were enthusiastic with the word enthusiasm. and Melba used the word 1 time, Michelle 2 times, and Tiger 1 time. Well, doesn't matter that. The important is that you are enthusiastic. In that case, that you are sealed. And for the words that I seem that I like it. Well, I like it so much that Kevin said disorganized process, because when you know the problem, you can know the solution. And with this word, he said, do better life. Warm, happy, positive. I like that word in Kevin. With Tiger, I like it when he said kingdom of kingdom. And the phrase, you can fight to the nature. That's so true, Tiger. Diane, I also, the other word, she said, when you lost or when you feel lost, come to Toastmasters. Good work. For the accounter, I'm also so happy. I'm so happy to see that we have most of you were like very well speakers, because I didn't see so many filler words. Good for all of you. Great job. Well, for Veronica, I think that most of us, we are so happy that you are effort to speak. And as us, at the beginning, we say some filler words, but don't worry, you will do better every day. You can do the activity to speak with us. That's all, Michelle. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was waiting to hear how did we use our word of the day, Excel? Were you counting that? Go ahead. If you counted, you still have time. So go ahead and report on that.
Okay, yes. Okay, yes, well, in that case, I say that most of us, all of us, we are enthusiastic and most use the word enthusiastic instead of still. But I am still that most of you are enthusiastic, and therefore, Tiger used the word one time in the chat. Melba one time in the beginning and Michelle 2 times. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Excel. And now we move on to the person in every meeting who is always busy from the start to the end. And she did a really good job this time of typing in the chat because of the way that she couldn't be seen sometimes. So let's hear from our timer, none other than our club president, Ayu Ananthia.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Hello, fellow Toastmaster. Everybody doing very good, especially on table topic. You are guests. Some of you are really new to Toastmaster, but you speak well. I just want to mention Supendu 45 seconds, Heather 53 seconds, and Veronica 31 seconds. These 3 people speak below 1 minute. I just want to give a little suggestion, my 2 cents. Next time, please just extend it a little bit. You can use pause, you can use giggle or asking question a little bit. Just speak out your mind. Wait until the green to come up and you are good. How about that? Try again next time.
That's noted, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator. Everybody doing good.
Okay, so I'm guessing that we have everyone within time. Just a clarification though, that if people reach 45 seconds, unless Toastmasters has changed the rules, it is still within time. Just like when people exceed, there's a little bit of an allowance. Okay, I believe, I cannot see it right now, but I believe I have a few minutes to give some general comments. And I would like to commend our table topics master. What beautiful graphics. In fact, if I may ask for a copy of those graphics later, you can just email it. And I think the others might also want it, but definitely I would like it. Very beautiful graphics. I can see that Ruku took some time to search for the graphics, and then even more, the quotations were all very appropriate. Great job. Very good job, Ruku. Now, a little suggestion. When you share your screen, it will help that after you share your screen and you call someone, take the screen share off so that we can see the enthusiastic faces of the speakers. Otherwise, we only see a little tiny thing on the side unless people know how to do side-by-side screen share, which I actually was doing for me so I could see the people who were speaking. But it's always a good thing. It's a little bit more work to remove the screen share and then get back, but it gives more benefit to the speakers and the audience. And also when you're doing a screen share, click the slide share so it gets bigger and people don't see the rest of the slides on the side and already prepare in advance. But otherwise, I really loved your topics and your graphics. Let me see if I have missed anyone commented on our Toastmaster. I just want to say again, in case you didn't hear it, Melva did a fabulous job as Toastmaster of the meeting, introduced the roles, transitions, and all that. And our speakers were both very good. we have good speakers, we have good evaluators. What a wonderful club. I love the enthusiasm. And oh, Kevin is sharing the Wizard of Oz. Okay, Kevin, thank you very much for sharing that. Or I don't know who was sharing, but I don't have my eyes on yet, so I cannot see. Well, I can see, but not clearly. So at this point, unless I have missed anyone, timer, grammarian, evaluator. Okay, we're all good. Let me bring back our Toastmaster of the day. Let's welcome back Melva.
Thanks a lot, Reggie. You are so great to evaluate all roles. And Michelle, can I ask you? Okay, as we know, you are the master of Toastmaster, right? Please tell us your secret, how to keep your enthusiasm or your zeal, especially in Toastmaster.
Okay, I just said, are you a mind reader, Melva? Because actually yesterday I was chatting online with a fellow Toastmaster, also former district director. So we were both former district directors. And I was sharing with him that my focus actually is not totally in Toastmasters anymore. I have shifted to other things, but it's just keeping that commitment, keeping that responsibility of staying and promoting Toastmasters. So sometimes you might not see it, but sometimes my enthusiasm flags. Sometimes I have to literally remind myself, this is your responsibility. This is a duty that you've signed up for. You are a Toastmaster. You need to do this. And the strange thing is, once you do that, in fact, this is not original. Dale Carnegie said many, many years ago, I think in the 1920s, act enthusiastic and you'll be enthusiastic. In fact, we had a session when we attended Dale Carnegie. We would have to stand at the back of the room and say, act enthusiastic and you'll be enthusiastic. Act enthusiastic and you'll be enthusiastic. Act, and we build it up and then we run from the back of the room to the front. And guess what? When we were standing in the back, even if we were like, this is so silly, this is so stupid. By the time we're in front and people are applauding and you're acting enthusiastic, you actually feel the enthusiasm. So you can tell your brain that you are enthusiastic and you can be. So, wow, you didn't expect that long answer, Melva, huh? But it was so timely. So back to you.
Thanks a lot for those affirmation. Take enthusiastic and you will be right. And now our meeting is done. Was great, and I hand over our meeting to our VPE, Yasmin Talwala.
Oh, thank you very much. I didn't expect that. Anyways, it's always a great pleasure to open the meeting. It's equally great pleasure to close the meeting, provided the meeting has been so enthusiastic. And I really want to wholeheartedly, from whole RSS, thank everyone, each and everyone who has been present here, who has contributed to the enthusiasm and the success of this very meeting. So thank you to everyone, and we hope to see you again soon in the near future. I'm just going to officially close the meeting, but please stay behind, stay with us so that we can little bit engage in the sort of networking around. So with this, I would just officially close the meeting.